Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be bringing you a mod called Combat Enhanced, more difficult combat mode. So what does this mod do? This mod, the mod author went ahead and revisited several of the unique points of interest throughout the game. There's actually quite an extensive list, and it looks like the mod author is working on more content, so this is one of those ones where I would definitely be watching for updates, because it looks as though there will be updates to this mod. But how does this mod actually make combat more difficult? It is not making the enemies more difficult or anything like that. That would be done within the game's settings, the combat settings. But what this mod does do is it inserts more enemy combatants into those unique points of interest. So I'm going to basically share a couple clips which kind of highlight the difference. Especially if you've ever played these points of interest. One of them you've very likely played through. Even if you're a beginner, it's very early on in the game. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at a couple of these clips from a live stream I did about a week ago where I did a live testing. I will have it linked up in a card at the top of the screen if you do need to watch that, so you can see my full and uncut opinion of this. Or if you just want the down and dirty of it, I'll give you here that I've reflected a little bit on the gameplay and developed a little bit more thoughts on this mod itself. But essentially all it's going to do is just add more enemy combatants to the points of interest to make combat more difficult. It is not going to give the enemies more HP or higher levels or anything like that. They're just adding more enemy combatants to this. But the first point of interest we are going to go ahead and look at is the Reliant Medical Laboratory. I believe that is on Beta-Tarian 2. If memory suits me correctly. It might be Beta-Tarian 1. But I'll also hyperlink a video in the description that has all these points of interest and where to find them. So if you want to play through them yourself, I'll have that video for you in the description of this. But let's go ahead and get into it and see what this is all about. Oh crap.
Yeehaw! Looks like trouble has come to town.
Yeah, don't walk in that.
Whoops, the best things happen. Trouble could have been avoided, but you chose to face the head on.
Spoil if you have the time. I will
Got ourselves into a fight. Yeehaw!
no bleed.
These bats are terrible.
Victory!
This is a little bit better weapon for taking out objects in the sky. These bats are like downright.
Dan, I think you're meant to land on the ground, not try to land in it.
No. So we got any more flying bats? So many of them. So by my estimate, the number of enemies within that point of interest was tripled by the mod author. So that plays very well within that particular point of interest. It's a nice high level point of interest, and then lore wise it's overrun by alien creatures, so it would fit perfectly fine to have more aliens there. It makes a lot of sense, and it plays well with the combat because you can get swarmed rather easily by those alien creatures. It does add a lot of difficulty having several more of those vampire bats flying around that lab, and tons more of those swarming, I forget what they were called, but those swarming creatures, they'll swarm and swamp you. It makes it a lot more challenging. But one thing I do want to disclose, I am playing with the Darkstar mod, so I had a weapon, or several weapons I was using that would not have been available in the base game that did carry me through. If I did not have those weapons, it probably would have died several times trying to get through that particular point of interest. But let's go take a look at an early level point of interest and see how this mod plays out with that. So we're going to go to RE939 and check that out. Okay, it's definitely improved because they're seeing, like, they're sensing me stealth already, and they're shooting at stuff already.
Combat mode initiated.
There's a lot more. There is a ton more. This would definitely be a lot more difficult at a level appropriate.
There are two things I like.
So I think one criticism I would give of this game
Three things I like are rooting, tooting, shooting, and a looting.
is, or criticism of this mod would be leveling. Like if they could do leveling on these bad guys, this would make this would have been so challenging if these were like level 85s.
Hypothermia can degrade quickly, and the effects can be deadly. I should keep that in mind.
Whoa! Definitely killed a lot. So overall, I would say this mod is definitely worth a download. One bit of critique I would make on the mod itself, or one thing I would like to see out of the mod, is scaling up those early game points of interest for end game players, because that a lot of those early points of interest I had a ton of fun with, and I would like to revisit them at a more level appropriate difficulty. The mod, all it does is add more enemies to the point of interest, and they're matching the level of the point of interest. So if you're walking through, RE939 at level 130 with some badass gear, it's not too much of a challenge, even though they throw 30 mobs in the opening room. But other than that, like, this was a really enjoyable experience. I would highly recommend this for anyone that is starting fresh or is new to the game and wants a really difficult challenge, because what this would do is, if you were walking in there as a new player or with a fresh start character, that would be an extremely challenging point of interest. There was, I would say, in the base version of RE939, I think there's roughly around like 20 bad guys. In this one, there was probably somewhere close to more like 60. So that made things substantially more challenging, adding those added enemies, but it would be a lot more challenging if it was, you know, at the same level as me. But yeah, if you're going to start a new character or start fresh, this is definitely a mod to download. If you're not, I mean, this is still a mod to download, because some of those late stage points of interest are still rather difficult and challenging by adding those extra mobs. So this is definitely worth a download for anyone, and I would definitely watch it for updates as the mod author goes ahead and adds new points of interest to the mod itself that he revises. But if you found this informative or entertaining, please give me a like and subscribe. I do appreciate them, and as always, please have a nice day.